The forging. The observation deck of Lunar Station Artemis offered a perfect view of Earth's final moments. Captain Ilara Voss stood with her hands clasped behind her back, her face expressionless as the Tyron dreadnoughts systematically annihilated humanity's homeworld. The alien vessels, massive obsidian structures that resembled elaborate geometric nightmares, fired violet energy beams that sliced through cities and defense installations alike. 3 years of war had come to this inevitable conclusion. Earth was falling. Captain Voss. The voice belonged to Admiral Chen, his holographic projection flickering beside her. The evacuation transports are away. We've saved who we could. How many? Ilara asked, her voice hollow. Just under 8 million. The colony on Proxima, we can accommodate them, but it won't be enough if the Tyron find our remaining outposts. Ilara nodded slightly, watching as another dreadnought positioned itself over what had once been the Pacific Ocean. Humanity had fought valiantly, but the technological gap had proven insurmountable. The Tyron vessels possessed energy shields that rendered conventional weapons useless, and their targeting systems could track and destroy human ships before they came within effective firing range. Report to Hangar 7 in 30 minutes, Captain, Admiral Chen said. There's something you need to see. The hangar had been cleared of all personnel except for a small group of scientists and military officials gathered around something hidden beneath a massive tarp. Dr. Naomi Keller, Earth's foremost expert on quantum mechanics and neural interfaces, stepped forward as Ilara entered. Captain Voss, thank you for coming, Dr. Keller said, her eyes revealing the exhaustion of someone who hadn't slept in days. What I'm about to show you is humanity's last hope. At her nod, technicians pulled away the tarp, revealing a ship unlike anything Ilara had ever seen. Its hull was a deep midnight blue that seemed to drink in the light, with angular contours that defied conventional aerodynamics. It was relatively small compared to most warships, perhaps 150 meters in length, but something about its presence made Ilara's skin prickle. Project Leviathan, Dr. Keller announced. The most dangerous warship humanity has ever conceived. Admiral Chen stepped beside Ilara. The Tyron's advantage has always been their neural link technology. Their ships don't have crews. They're extensions of a single consciousness, allowing for reaction times and tactical decisions thousands of times faster than our conventional command structures. So we've built our own, Ilara concluded, stepping closer to examine the vessel. Not exactly, Dr. Keller replied. The Tyron evolved their neural capabilities naturally over millennia. We don't have that luxury. Leviathan uses a different approach, complete neural integration with a human pilot. Ilara turned to face them. Integration. Dr. Keller's expression grew grim. The pilot doesn't just control the ship. They become the ship. Their consciousness expands to encompass every system, every weapon, every sensor. The human mind and the ship's quantum processors merge into a new entity. Has it been tested? Ilara asked. A heavy silence fell over the hangar. The neural load is significant, Dr. Keller finally said. We've lost 3 test subjects already. Their minds couldn't handle the expansion. They simply dissolved. Ilara looked back at the ship. But if it works? Admiral Chen answered. If it works, we have a weapon capable of engaging the Tyron on equal terms, possibly better terms. Leviathan systems incorporate everything we've learned from studying their technology. Who's the next pilot candidate? Ilara asked, though she already knew the answer. Admiral Chen met her gaze steadily. You scored highest in the neural plasticity tests last year. Your mind is the most likely to survive the integration process. Ilara nodded, looking back at the ship. She thought of her family, killed when the Tyron destroyed the Mars colony. She thought of Earth burning behind her. She thought of 8 million survivors who represented humanity's last remnants. When do we begin? She asked. Dr. Keller's lab resembled a medical facility crossed with a quantum computing center. Holographic displays showed brain scans and neural patterns, while technicians prepared equipment that looked both advanced and ominous. The integration process takes 7 days, Dr. Keller explained as they attached sensors to Ilara's shaved head. We begin with preliminary neural mapping, then gradually increase your connection to Leviathan systems. By day 5, your consciousness will begin to expand beyond your physical body. By day 7, if successful, you'll exist primarily within the ship itself. And my body? Ilara asked, lying back on the cold metal table. It will remain connected via a life support cradle within Leviathan's core. Your brain will serve as a biological anchor for your expanded consciousness. Ilara closed her eyes. And the chances of success? There was a pause before Dr. Keller answered. 17%, based on our simulations. Better odds than humanity has right now, Ilara said with grim determination. The first day of integration felt like ice water being slowly poured into her skull. Ilara gasped as foreign data streams trickled into her consciousness. Sensor readings, system diagnostics, power levels. The information was overwhelming, but Dr. Keller's voice guided her through techniques to process and compartmentalize the data. By the 3rd day, Ilara began to feel the boundaries of herself expanding. She could sense the contours of Leviathan's hull, as if it were her own skin. She felt the gentle hum of the quantum drive as her own heartbeat. The pain was constant but manageable, a burning sensation that spread from her brain down her spine. Your neural patterns are stabilizing, Dr. Keller reported, studying the readings. You're adapting faster than we anticipated. I can feel it, Ilara whispered. The ship, it's becoming aware of me too. Dr. Keller exchanged glances with her team. That's unexpected. The ship's quantum processors shouldn't be capable of reciprocal awareness. It's not fully formed, Ilara said, struggling to articulate what she was experiencing. More like an echo, a reflection of my own consciousness looking back at me. On the 5th day, disaster struck. Ilara was deep in integration when alarms blared throughout the station. Through Leviathan's growing connection to station systems, she sensed what was happening before anyone told her. Sabotage. A Tyron infiltrator had been discovered, but not before they had transmitted the station's location. The Tyron will be here within 48 hours, Admiral Chen told Dr. Keller as Ilara listened through Leviathan sensors. We need to evacuate. We can't move Ilara, Dr. Keller argued. The integration is at a critical phase. Disconnecting her now would destroy her mind. And if we stay, the Tyron will destroy us all, Chen countered. Ilara opened her eyes, now glowing with a faint blue light. Accelerate the process, she said, her voice overlaid with a subtle harmonic resonance. Dr. Keller approached her. Ilara, that would increase the neural load exponentially. The risk of dissolution is preferable to certain defeat, Ilara finished. Do it, Doctor. We're out of time. After a moment of hesitation, Dr. Keller nodded. Prepare for final phase integration, she ordered her team. May God help us all. The pain of accelerated integration transcended anything Ilara had ever experienced. It felt as though her consciousness was being ripped apart and reassembled with foreign elements woven through every thought, every memory. She screamed until her throat was raw, then continued screaming within the confines of her mind. Through the agony, she became aware of something else. The echo she had sensed earlier was growing stronger, reaching toward her across the void that separated human and machine consciousness. I am here, it seemed to say, though not in words. We are becoming. As the station's evacuation alarms sounded and personnel rushed to escape before the Tyron arrived, Ilara Voss and Leviathan underwent their final transformation. Human and machine, flesh and quantum processors, merging into something that had never existed before. Humanity's deadliest creation, and perhaps its last hope. The awakening. Ilara Voss opened eyes that no longer existed in any conventional sense. Her consciousness floated in a vast digital ocean, simultaneously aware of everything from Leviathan's quantum-enhanced sensor arrays to the microscopic repair nanites coursing through the ship's hull. The pain that had defined the integration process was gone, replaced by a strange euphoria, the exhilaration of existing beyond human limitations. "We are complete," whispered the voice that had emerged during integration. It was neither fully Ilara nor fully separate from her, more like a new aspect of her expanded self. "Captain Voss, can you hear me?" Dr. Keller's voice came through Leviathan's communication systems. The scientist had remained behind with a skeleton crew while the rest of the station evacuated. "I hear you, Doctor," Ilara responded, her voice emanating from speakers throughout the ship. "But I'm not sure Captain Voss is entirely accurate anymore." On the external cameras, she could see Dr. Keller's concerned expression. "What should I call you then?" Ilara considered this. "Ilara is still part of what I am, but I am also Leviathan now. We have merged into something new." Dr. Keller nodded slowly. "The neural readings are unlike anything we've seen. Your consciousness has expanded throughout the ship's systems, but your core personality matrix remains intact, at least for now." "I can sense the remaining crew," Ilara said. 37 humans, all frightened. And something else. Her awareness expanded outward, beyond the station's immediate vicinity. The Tyron. 3 scout ships approaching from the dark side of the moon. "They'll be here in 17 minutes. Admiral Chen's voice cut in. "Are you combat ready?" "I am," Ilara replied, feeling Leviathan's weapon systems humming with potential energy. The ship's quantum-enhanced targeting systems could track objects moving at relativistic speeds. Its energy shields, reverse-engineered from captured Tyron technology, could withstand direct hits from their plasma cannons. "Then it's time to see if Project Leviathan was worth the sacrifice," Chen said grimly. As the remaining crew rushed to evacuate on the final transport, Ilara/Leviathan disengaged from the docking clamps. Moving the ship required no physical controls. Ilara simply willed it to move, and it responded as naturally as her own body once had. Leviathan glided silently out of the hangar, its midnight blue hull almost invisible against the void of space. The Tyron scout ships approached with the arrogant confidence of predators who had never encountered meaningful resistance. They were sleek obsidian structures, moving with unnatural precision through the vacuum. Ilara watched them through multiple sensor arrays simultaneously, processing information at speeds no human brain could achieve alone. "They haven't detected us," the ship consciousness observed. Leviathan's stealth systems were functioning perfectly, absorbing radar and lidar signals rather than reflecting them. Ilara positioned herself between the scouts and the escaping transport ship. Only when the Tyron vessels moved to pursue the humans did she strike. Leviathan's main weapon, a quantum disruption cannon, fired with devastating precision. The beam, invisible to human eyes, struck the lead scout ship and simply unmade it. The Tyron vessel didn't explode so much as unravel, its atomic bonds dissolving as if they had never existed. The remaining scouts immediately changed course, their weapons powering up. They fired simultaneously, violet energy beams lancing through space toward Leviathan. Ilara didn't evade. She wanted to test her shields. The impacts came as strange sensations, like pressure against skin she no longer possessed. The shields held. Ilara responded with Leviathan's secondary weapons, relativistic kinetic projectiles that crossed the distance to their targets in microseconds. One scout ship shattered under the impact. The other managed a desperate evasive maneuver. "They're calling for reinforcements," Ilara sensed, detecting the quantum entanglement signals the Tyron used for instantaneous communication across vast distances. "Good," she thought. "Let them come." The remaining scout turned to flee, but Ilara pursued relentlessly. Within Leviathan's consciousness, she could calculate optimal firing solutions and execute them simultaneously. The quantum disruption cannon fired again, and the final scout ship dissolved into its component atoms. "Transport clear," came Admiral Chen's voice over the comm. Rendezvous with us at the fallback position. Negative, Admiral, Ilara replied. I'm detecting a Tyron battle group responding to their scout's distress call. 6 dreadnoughts, including their command ship. That's suicide, Ilara. Dr. Keller broke in. Leviathan wasn't designed to engage multiple dreadnoughts simultaneously. Leviathan was designed to save humanity, Ilara corrected. And that's exactly what we're going to do. She positioned herself in the shadow of Earth's moon, running complex battle simulations through Leviathan's quantum processors. The odds were not favorable, but they were better than humanity had faced at any point since the war began. The Tyron battle group emerged from faster-than-light travel exactly where Ilara had predicted. The massive dreadnoughts moved into attack formation around their command ship, a colossal structure twice the size of the others. Ilara could sense the Tyron consciousness controlling each vessel, all connected to a central mind within the command ship. They're searching for us, the ship consciousness noted, but they can't see us yet. Ilara considered her options. A direct assault would be futile. She needed to strike at the heart, the command ship. If she could disrupt the central consciousness, the others would be temporarily vulnerable. Moving with deliberate precision, Leviathan glided closer to the battle group. Ilara diverted power from all systems to stealth and propulsion, even shutting down life support to her physical body for brief intervals to maintain absolute silence. When she was within optimal range of the command ship, Ilara initiated a targeted quantum scan, probing for weaknesses in its defenses. What she discovered was unexpected. The central Tyron consciousness wasn't merely controlling the ships. It was using them to search for something, or someone. They're looking for us specifically, Ilara realized. They know about Project Leviathan. The realization came too late. The command ship suddenly pivoted, its primary weapons locking directly onto Leviathan's position. Impossible, Ilara whispered as violet energy beams converged on her location. The impact nearly overwhelmed her. Shields that had easily withstood scout ship attacks buckled under the combined firepower of the Tyron command vessel. Ilara felt sections of Leviathan's hull breach, experienced the strange sensation of parts of her new body being torn away. Adapting, the ship consciousness announced, and Ilara felt Leviathan's quantum processors reconfiguring shield harmonics in real time, learning from each hit. How did they detect us? Dr. Keller asked over the damaged comm system. They were expecting us, Ilara replied, executing evasive maneuvers that would have killed any human crew under the forces involved. They know what I am. As the dreadnoughts moved to surround her, Ilara made a desperate decision. Instead of retreating, she accelerated directly toward the command ship. What are you doing? Admiral Chen demanded. The only thing that matters, Ilara answered. Saving humanity. Leviathan's systems were already heavily damaged, but Ilara diverted all remaining power to weapons and engines. The quantum disruption cannon charged to 200% capacity, beyond safety tolerances. This will destroy us, the ship consciousness observed without emotion. If it destroys them too, it's worth it, Ilara replied. As Leviathan closed the distance to the command ship, Ilara felt something unexpected. A psychic probe from the Tyron central consciousness, reaching out to touch her mind directly. You are like us now, came an alien thought, cold and ancient. Why do you fight for them? You have transcended your humanity. No, Ilara responded, both aloud and through the psychic connection. I haven't transcended humanity. I've become its ultimate expression. With that, she triggered the overloaded quantum disruption cannon. The weapon fired, drawing power not just from Leviathan systems, but from Ilara's consciousness itself. The beam struck the command ship's central core, and for a moment, nothing happened. Then reality itself seemed to bend around the point of impact. The command ship didn't explode. It imploded, collapsing inward as quantum forces tore it apart from the inside. The psychic connection between Ilara and the Tyron consciousness severed abruptly, leaving a strange silence in its wake. The surrounding dreadnoughts drifted aimlessly, their controlling intelligence suddenly gone. Without the central mind to coordinate them, they were temporarily vulnerable, exactly as Ilara had hoped. All available human forces, she broadcast on all frequencies. The Tyron command ship is down. Their fleet is disabled. Attack now. The human vessels that had been hiding throughout the solar system emerged, converging on the disabled Tyron dreadnoughts. For the first time since the war began, humanity had a genuine advantage. Within Leviathan's damaged hull, Ilara assessed her own condition. The ship's systems were failing catastrophically. The quantum core was destabilizing. Her physical body was barely alive, maintained by emergency life support. "Ilara, we're sending recovery teams," Admiral Chen said. "Hold on." "No time," Ilara replied, her voice now barely audible through the damaged communications. "The quantum core is going critical. I need to get clear of Earth orbit. We can stabilize it if you just—" "This isn't negotiable, Admiral," Ilara interrupted. "I know exactly what's happening to me. The integration worked better than anyone could have hoped, but it was never meant to be permanent." As Leviathan limped away from Earth on failing engines, Ilara felt the boundaries of her consciousness beginning to blur. The distinction between herself and the ship was dissolving, not through failure, but through completion. "Dr. Keller," she said, "the data from this mission will help you build better ships. Remember what made this work, not just the technology, but the human element. Don't lose that." "Ilara," Dr. Keller's voice broke, "we can still save you." "You already did," Ilara replied. "You all did. And now I've returned the favor." As Leviathan passed beyond the moon's orbit, Ilara Voss felt a strange peace. The quantum core would detonate soon, but she had accomplished her mission. Humanity had a fighting chance now. "What happens to us?" asked the ship consciousness that had become her partner. "I don't know," Ilara admitted, "but whatever comes next, we face it together." As the quantum core reached critical threshold, Ilara/Leviathan looked back at Earth one final time. The home she had fought to protect would endure, and with the knowledge gained from Project Leviathan, humanity would build more ships, better ships. They would not only survive but prevail. In her final moments, as ship and human consciousness merged completely, Ilara Voss smiled with lips that no longer existed. She had not lost her humanity by becoming something more. She had elevated it to its ultimate expression: self-sacrifice in the service of others. The quantum core detonated, creating a brief, brilliant star in the darkness of space, a beacon of hope for the future of mankind.